everybody, and welcome to week three of Mindfulness Mondays with Britt. Thanks to everybody who has watched the last two vlogs that I did, and I hope you guys are enjoying them. I really just love to hear feedback and the comments I get with the people so far that have said and told me that they have been really enjoying them. So thank you so much. That gives me so much motivation to continue this. So today, week 3, our topic is going to be, are you committed to living your best life, or are you just interested? And I got inspired to talk about this topic because I think I might have mentioned in the last video that I've been reading this book called The Art of Uncertainty. And this is actually one of the chapters in the book. And I just that was one of the ones that really stuck out to me. I'm on the next chapter now, but I was like, wow, I think I should really talk about that because it's something that, I can definitely relate to. And as I said before, it's always good for me, these videos that I'm doing, because it helps me think through and talk through these same topics and try to get me a better grasp and feel and understanding of these things that I'm trying to overcome through my journey, as I told you guys. So yeah, are you committed to living your best life or just interested? So for me personally, I really just feel that actually brought a lot of perspective to me this week because in life we go through so many ups and downs, and in the last video, I talked about forgiveness. And as I told you, that's something that's been a big struggle and something that's been a really big lesson that I've been learning throughout my journey. And for me, when I read this chapter, I was like, wow. So you're having a bad day. You're feeling those same negative emotions that you had been feeling previously or whatever. You have good days and bad days. So I had to ask myself, am I really committed to forgiving and making that a part of my healing to move forward and live my best life? Because if you're withholding forgiveness, you're not living your best life because you're still stuck in that negative mindset, right? So I was like, man, are you committed to that? And I'm like, yes, I am. Britt, get out of the rut. Stop it. It's so many positive things happening in your life right now. So, so a few things in the book that I want to talk about. One thing that I read, and it was really, really crazy to read this, it talked about something called the no zone. And it said the majority of people live in this no zone. And what this no zone layer is, he describes it as a layer right above sleep. So in this no zone layer, it's kind of going through the motions of life, kind of living with this laziness, this mental stagnation, and just waiting for everything to happen for you, waiting for God to bless you, waiting for this and this to happen, but you're not really moving forward with that grit and that commitment. In another part of the chapter, he talks about the power of the 3 Ps. And what the 3 Ps are persistence, perseverance, and passion. And he actually defines the difference between persistence and perseverance. So what perseverance is the steady application of persistence. And what persistence is our action towards realizing and living in our purpose and our passion despite the difficulties and the obstacles that you might face along the way. So it was really cool to actually get that clarification. So perseverance is the intention and persistence is the action. So what he goes on to talk about is the story, and the story is about the 2009 Super Bowl game. It was the Arizona Cardinals, I believe, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he talked about how this was one of the craziest game, it was a nail biter. And he talked about how at one point the Arizona Cardinals had 16 unanswered points, and then out of nowhere the Steelers came and had this crazy drive and scored all these points that nobody expected. And so what he equated that to is just the sheer persistence, perseverance, and the passion that the Steelers had versus the Cardinals, because they just kept going, even when it looked like everything was lost, you know, like it was gone, and they ended up winning. And that's like really, if you think about it, those are, if you compare that in life and you look at the most successful people, that's what it is. The people who just kept going, like any obstacle put in front of them, any, you know, person trying to like knock them down, they just continuously keep going because they're committed to the win, they're committed to success. So yeah, I just thought that was really cool, and it was very like motivating and invigorating for me to be like, girl, you need to get your commitment. Like there's no walking through life just being interested and it's so easy to get back into that, like, you know, on a constant. You get comfortable in life, you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this task, I'm kind of, you know, working towards it, but that's just interest. You're not really committed, because if you were committed, you would really just be like busting your ass, right? So as a practice, at the end of every chapter of this book, which I love, it actually gives you like practical things. And a couple of the practices that he said, and I actually did this myself. So number one is write down a list of all of the things and circumstances in life that you desire, and make that list. And number two, take a look at that list and really contemplate like each thing that you wrote down, and ask yourself, are you really committed to that thing that you wrote down? Or are you just interested? And if the answer is no, check it off the list. Because that means that you don't have enough passion to really fulfill that goal or whatever that dream that you might have wrote down. You know, we all have tons of dreams, but you have to really hone in on what you're passionate about, what you're committed. So if it's a no, check it off. But if it's a yes, then really take time to sit with that thing. Visualize it. Imagine the joy that you would feel if you actually accomplished this. Don't think about the future and like how long it's going to take, and you know, all this, that, it might not work, or this obstacle, that obstacle. Just imagine the joy and the proudness that you would feel yourself if you actually were able to accomplish this thing. And just feel it. And that should be what sets off that new fire inside of you, that new commitment, that new drive for you to really go after what it is that you want, the goals and these things that you've been talking about forever. Like really visualize it, and once you visualize it, then it's yours. You can see it. Figure out your path, you know, write down tangible goals, and it's yours. But the number one thing is, don't forget that you have to be committed. Because if you're just interested, then you won't do the work necessary to actually fulfill those goals. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and feel free to reach out. Let me know your take. If there's like things in your life that you feel like you've just kind of been interested in, or more have an action that show that you're interested and not committed, like I'd love to hear. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope that you continue your mindfulness throughout the week, just being connected to yourself, evaluating your thoughts, your intentions, your goals. Don't forget the power of the 3 P's. And yeah, have a great week, guys. Bye.